fellow Shades, we're your host, Shadow the Wayne on the cover. We're here with another episode of Night in the Woods, where we're back here looking at constellations, and this is my life.
Did the whale consent to this?
Yeah,
Such a good question.
I think it was just always was that way.
Oof.
I mean, to be fair, whales usually have like stuff living on them anyways, and I don't think they seem to mind or notice. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's an interesting idea.
You gotta wonder why people made these
Just searching for something out of nothing. Humans often do that.
I mean, like, these specifically. Who saw a whale and was like, that, like, needs to be carrying something, right? Like, I'm not the only one messing up here.
I mean, whales are pretty big.
But what's the whale swimming in? Space?
Space, yeah.
I guess it's dumb to get mad at ancient people?
No, it's not. It's not dumb. Well, I guess it is. Yeah, it is. You can't get mad, but it's important to like remember and like process what they did. Shit, fucking. Yoink.
Yeah, I just thought it was obvious that you would end the constellations, but you kept doing them till like the final step, and I'm like, huh?
I thought it was making. I genuinely thought it was just gonna make one giant constellation. I didn't know we were making a bunch of smaller ones. So it was just like, how is this gonna connect together? Anyways, it's a boat. He breathes fire and.
Oh, this one is real. Or at least the dude is.
Arabello? There's a statue
What
of
the
him
fuck?
outside of the church.
Oh, okay. I saw that word, the first Rebelio word. I was like, what the fuck is that?
That's
It
his
sounds
name.
like a Bakugan I've never heard of. Oh, we never went there.
Did your family go to church?
Weddings and funerals, the longest night, basically.
I don't think those first two count. Those are like events. My mom works up at the church now. I haven't gone really since I was like 14 or 15.
Does she mind?
She pretends not to.
Oh my goodness. You
It's-
did it. You didn't try to put it to the most obscure one.
It's a cat. He's got arrows sticking out of him. And he's chasing a diamond.
Oh, I know this one. Don't remember his name though. Kinda died like 10 years ago. He lived, you remember the stories about the forest god?
Yeah. My granddad used to tell me Andina stories.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, this cat was in there, like shiny things, and was like good at getting through the forest. And was really good at stealing things, you know, catnap, burglar.
Oh yeah, I used to call him Ass Cat when I was little.
Well, then he stole a diamond from a king and got arrowed to death. But he was slick enough that he jumped out of his body and became immortal or something.
Huh, decent. Huh, decent.
Extremely decent.
We're like way out here, huh?
In the park? Yeah, I guess.
Spooky.
I don't know, it's pretty safe. I mean, the stars are pretty.
So you don't believe in ghosts at all?
Nah, I don't believe in ghosts or gods.
Fair.
or psychic powers or anything like that. In fact, I don't believe you.
Not at all.
I mean, there's no evidence for them, so I don't have a reason to believe it. People really have tried.
Did you ever?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Tell me about it.
So, I don't know how much I've ever told you, or how much Greg has told you, but I didn't have the best childhood.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Why? Was it bad? Yeah, that's what he just said.
My dad didn't like me, or my boyfriend, and my mom didn't either. And
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Huh. No, it's fine. It's just, my dad, he used to hit me a lot. And my mom was probably worse, but it was mostly verbal. And, like, she wouldn't feed me.
I've been there, man. That stuff sucks.
Which is, like, why I really like cooking now. She'd, like, shove me into the pantry and slam the door really hard. And all the stuff would fall off the shelves on top of me.
Oh my god, Angus. I didn't know at all. That's awful.
That's why I have a thick skull. You know, my cans landed on my head? Like, goddamn. And she'd lock me in there for like days at a time sometimes. Or overnight.
Bro, I mean, I get it. That shit, it sucks. I was fortunate enough to have one caring parent, but even one parent that's like really doing their best to fuck you over, that's enough. That's really all it takes to fuck you up a bit. I mean, I remember a couple nights where, a good amount of nights where I just wouldn't eat because I wasn't allowed to. Or times where I was just locked in my room for, well, that was really a lot of my life, but, or there was times where I was locked outside for a bit, like in the middle of the night in a rainstorm. That shit sucks. Like, I don't know. It is strangely relatable, and it makes stuff like come out. I don't know. It's a heavy topic. I don't know if I'm doing it justice at all, and I'm still working on stuff.
I mean, I don't think you're doing it an injustice by means. You're not like glorifying it or anything like that.
No, it's.
That's what I mean.
It's just
Like, there's definitely worse things that can be said and worse ways to approach the way you're talking about it, and you're not doing that. So I mean,
No, it's just. It is a rough thing to deal with, and I'm trying to think of something, but like, it's hard to give advice to people in that situation other than, you know, sometimes it just doesn't
And
matter.
I mean,
what your parents think.
and if you're in those scenarios,
You gotta
it's hard to control
for
what you actually take info from. So any tip you could give
Right.
may not even reach them because, you know, they might not be able to get in like internet. Maybe
Right,
they're only
man.
allowed to see.
I wasn't even. I didn't have access to the internet for a long while. You know, I was very understimulated for years at a point. So.
And I was the opposite, where I was overstimulated with the internet.
I became overstimulated. Like, once I got access to the internet, from going from understimulated to the internet, that was in itself probably extremely unhealthy. But because you know, like, I was locked in a room and I had like 20 to 30 books that I just had that people gave to me. That's all I had for like years to keep myself occupied with, I just sit in a room. And I just, like, I was very understimulated for a good while. So, like, to go to the internet, I just went buck wild on it. I looked at everything. And that probably was not a good thing. So, tip if anyone...
I think in my scenario, I was so overstimulated for so long that I just started becoming numb.
I mean,
and
that's
just forgetting, like,
that's the
basically
thing.
just letting time pass without
I started to
recognizing
become
it.
numb to stuff too because of that, like, overstimulus. But my number one piece of advice for anyone who's understimulated, like, especially if you're understimulated, like, even if you're not, like this is good advice, but, like, always take your time and patience with the internet. It's a useful tool, but it should mainly be used as a tool for the situation you're in. Like, you should focus on stuff outside of that too, and using it for how you can improve the stuff outside of just your phone.
You know a synonym for tool? Well, actually, it's not a synonym, but you want to know the joke I'm gonna make?
An ass hat? An asshole?
Okay, you completely cut out, so I'm gonna continue.
Damn it, shit.
But toy, which you very much recognize with.
You know what? I'm not even fazed by that anymore. I'm gonna just move on.
Yeah, no, there was no attempt with it. It was just very plain
I know.
and nonchalant.
I'm gonna, yes. Anyways. Point
I mean, it's called
being-
building up a resistance for a reason.
Yes. It is remarkable how I can fluster myself more than anything from dumbass shit. But
I mean, it's similar to. I mean, it's kind of similar to how I get cringe of watching old, like, any video of me. I cringe at because I disassociate with a heart so hard, and I'm just like, why am I making a video? No, get rid of it. Now, not these YouTube videos, specifically live action stuff, or anytime I hear my voice,
right,
actual?
right.
I'm like, no, that's not me.
That's awful.
Oh, man, that's not it. That's it. Terrible. Yeah, like, it's the hardest disassociation ever. And it makes me cringe. Like, when I found my old videos, I just cringed so hard, just like, oh my god, I can't believe I did
There is
this.
something called that, like, I think, where, like, you can't, like, you listen to a voice and you just, like, can't accept, or, like, you think you're hearing it wrong, like, that's not my voice. There's something there, I don't know, it has a name, the effect or whatever. I don't remember what it is.
I mean, one thing I can think of, I learned this from Persona 5, but there's some phenomenon known about where you could hear someone's voice through a phone, and it doesn't sound like them in real life. Like, and it's something about, because the phone's just trying to replicate the sound. Like, it's not a mere copy, is what... It's like something, and it's like some kind of phenomenon, I can't remember, but it's basically talking about how the phone can't, like, it's not like a perfect, like,
replica.
copy, it's just
not a
doing
perfect
its best
replica.
to imitate.
Right. But anyways, we're only a third of the way in the episode, and we've already gone to, like, a heavy topic.
Well, of course, that's
But,
kind of it. That,
I mean,
I'm glad, dude. You know how much crush I'm able to do while you're doing that?
Shut
like,
up.
my god, dude, I was just gonna let you ride. Just over here.
I don't like talking
Absolutely
too
being a
long though,
stunt
so
and
I'm
giving
gonna
all
I'm
my
gonna shut
in-game
up.
money to these.
I don't like the idea of taking too much time. So I'm gonna keep things
Hey, at
especially
least
short
you're
with that topic.
you're not dating us. Apparently, I was fucking dating us so hard, and I didn't even fucking realize that.
What?
Shit.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I've just cranked back to the nth degree on that shit because I never realized it before.
I mean, yeah. Ouch. Anyways, but get your ass off that game, man.
Well, what do you mean? I already read the line.
Did you?
I read the line already. I read.
It didn't come through. I don't think it came
Oh
through.
my god. Or overnight. So so I'd like try to develop psychic powers. You know Mob Psycho 100? So like I could have another signal with maybe a neighbor or something. Or unlatch the door.
Right. To me, I didn't
unlatch the door.
Right. I didn't even realize for a long time like what was even happening to me. Oh, that's an interesting thing.
You want to go back into that?
No, I don't.
Stop. I'll pause if you want to go back into
that's all I wanted to say. Carry on.
Okay. I didn't work as you might guess.
Did you ever tell anybody besides me right now?
I never did. Besides Greg. I mean, I don't know why.
Because it's a rough thing to talk about.
After a while, I started feeling guilty for some reason.
Right.
Like this was something bad I was doing.
Like being abused? Angus, that's not your fault at all. Okay.
Basically, me talking to you, you're like, oh,
shut up.
Like,
Honestly, I was just thinking,
what
like,
the fuck
damn.
are you doing, man? You can't control that situation. You're a child. You can't do jack shit.
Well, I understand that, and I've learned more so to just like make best of like what I have from the situation.
I mean, I'm not saying that's your state nowadays.
I know.
I just mean, like, let's.
But that is something I still struggle with. Is like, you know, just a lot of guilt and other things from stuff like that. But overall, like, oh gosh, it's crap. I'm just getting stuck up. But it is rough. Like, I understand it's not my fault, and like I said, I've been more so like just learning to like make use of what I have and to focus on other things. But I still struggle with like, you know, maybe I was just wrong with something. I don't know what, but just that small idea, even though I have understanding and I'm working past that, it still just kind of resonates right there in my mind, even though I work past it every day.
This is unrelated, but so I'm playing another scenario that I think of that, like, when kids feel guilty about or think that like they get the wrong assumptions, is like when parents are divorcing.
Like they
and
have
it's like, they might think they're the problem. It's like, no. Or at least, like you know, you can't, even if you were right, you can't do anything to help that situation.
Right.
You know?
It's not necessarily, and you can't blame yourself for existence. You have to make the best of the existence that was forced upon you and try and take control and just make the best of your, like, world experience with your existence. Because, yeah, it is forced on you, and no, it's not necessarily fair, but it is, you know, yours for the taking if you just work for it.
Although I definitely would say running away is not the best.
No, do not run away. Do not run away. That's not what I'm saying at all. Did I give off that?
No. I'm specifically saying that idea? Because in the game I'm playing, Persona 3, there is a character who's like, oh, they're divorcing. Let me run away. That's the best decision here.
Oh, you were talking like actually physically running away. I thought you were talking like running away from your problems. I'm like, no, definitely not. Did I give off that impression? No. Anyways, Angus, it's not your fault at all. You were a kid.
Oh, don't worry. I know that now. Boy, do I ever.
Yeah, right. Question. Can I go kick all their asses? Like, I've got experience. I can lift some shit up.
Well, my mom is kind of old now. And I still have to visit her sometimes.
You don't have to.
Like, hey, send my friend after your ass, and
no,
you're kind of dead.
I honestly probably wouldn't personally.
What, the meeting up or the visiting? Because I only heard is I wouldn't personally.
Oh
personally.
yeah, visit. I wouldn't visit personally.
Okay.
I wouldn't be. I'm gonna beat the fuck out that granny though. That bitch deserve it.
That's what
Nah.
I'm saying, right? It's
Nah,
like all I heard
nah.
if I wasn't personally.
The
I'm
best
like,
thing
could it
I
be
can
both?
say is like, don't hold on to hate with that shit. Never hold on to hate. Just grow and move past.
Well, why not? But the anime tells me to use the rage.
Yeah, use the rage. Vengeance is where it's all at, man.
I know, right?
No. Like, it seems appetizing, but there's so much more inner, like, just better feeling and peace with just making yourself feel better about life, rather than like focusing on how others have pastly like dragged you down. Focus on like making yourself happier with who you are.
I have
Anyways.
a brother he's overseas in the army. And my dad left like 10 years ago. So who knows where he is, or if he's even alive. If he is alive, I don't want to know about it either.
Right. It doesn't really matter at all. It's just something that happened. No point in seeking it out. Angus, I just want to give you a hug forever.
Well, I was luckier than a lot of kids.
Right. Like, there's always someone that has it worse, but that doesn't take away from your experience.
Yeah, it
Trauma
doesn't
is
validate
trauma,
you.
and you shouldn't compare trauma, because it is. Trauma is trauma. You just gotta work with it. You know? And none of it is good. And no one should be disrespected or shunned for it. People should be taken care of. Life's hard. And sometimes people just need help. And that's okay. You read the line though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just glad I didn't, like, yeah. Let's go on. Anyway, to the original question. Testing out my psychic abilities in the pantry made me really interested in both paranormal and stuff and science. And I joined a skeptical society on the internet, and that was kind of ruined. That kind of ruined me on a lot of other supernatural bullshit.
Yeah, supernatural shit's mostly stuff you look at for fun.
And it gave me something to solve.
That's always fun.
Something you could debunk, you know?
Or no.
I don't know. It saved me a little bit, I guess. Because when someone does all that stuff to you, I can like make you do some bad things to yourself.
It can make you do bad things to yourself. Alright.
But anyway, yeah, no ghosts or gods.
Fair enough. So, like, I feel like if I'd been through that, I'd be more likely to want to believe in God or something. Nah, man. Not me.
I mean, it depends what direction, here's what I'm gonna say, right?
Well, that's the thing. If God
you were,
exists...
really bullied, and then, the only place you would sanctuary or a good community was church, then maybe. I could totally see that. It just depends on your environment, right?
That's the thing.
If you have a
the
great support
church...
system in church, then you might, yeah, that's very likely. But
And
if you
sometimes
don't, then it's not
that
like
is
you're
a
gonna
huge,
run there.
You're right. There is a huge that is a huge factor. But it's not just that. It's not just the acceptance. It's sometimes just the factors of how the church works or how a religion works. Sometimes the wisdom or the experience or the stuff that comforts some people just won't work on others. For me, the questions I had about the Bible after reading it and having a bunch of knowledge about it, constantly told to me. Like, I do love learning about it still, but I don't think it has the answers for morality.
I mean, I definitely, like, I found a good community in church, but, like, I
Right.
still held my prejudice, like, towards most of church, like, consisting
Right.
of, like,
There's
I bet they're hypocritical,
Right.
you know, they hated on other
there's a
people
lot-
because they're different, you know.
there's a lot
Like,
of
I
that.
still hate,
And a lot of Christians themselves don't actually follow the words of the Bible. That is in itself a huge problem. But at the same time, it's, I don't know. Like,
for my
even with the
for
Bible
some people,
itself,
it's just
there's a lot
it's
I
like a
like
comfort
about
thing.
yeah, there's a comfort thing. There's that. There's a lot of comfort in it for some people. But at the same time, for me,
It's like a
I
security
didn't,
somewhat.
for me, the comfort of the afterlife didn't spark like justice or, you know, fairness or righteousness to me in some ways. And like I learned a lot about the Bible, and I think a lot of it is great. I just don't think that it had answered all the questions I had for morality. And I found that more so in you know, Buddhist thoughts and philosophy. But I wouldn't say I'm a Buddhist by any means, no way. But, you know, just like some thoughts from that.
What,
It's
you
quite
weren't
nice.
on the Himalayan mountains for 10 years? What do you mean?
You don't have to be like on the mountains to be a Buddhist. In fact, I think there's a member of Congress who's a Buddhist. Anyways, not the point. The point.
I mean, there's plenty of points there, so I
Right,
mean,
there's a lot of points there. All interesting things to talk about too. But again, like I'm mainly
I mean,
talking
it's not
about.
like we're not at the 20-minute mark or anything, you know.
We're at the 27-minute mark, by the way.
I fucking knew it. I almost said 20-minute marker to make me be like, oh, I'm sure we're there, and then you look over and be like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyways, but like, there's just a lot of different ways you can go about like finding like your own peace. Not everyone's will be the same. I find mine through like getting a passion, like setting like goals, like dreaming big, like reaffirming like thought processes on like what morality is and shit like that from stuff I like learned to really like. And like, you know, coincide a lot of my thoughts with. I don't know. I found that all interesting. Do you have any experiences on this, my friend?
On passion?
Sure.
No.
Great.
I mean,
What a
my only
great.
passion is to have enjoyment in life. That is my only goal. Is to
Well-
have enjoyment in life.
Well, why not have a passion that you enjoy through life? Like, if you have a passion, you're gonna enjoy life more. You know?
I mean, I would like that one, and I like to say videos is that, but it's also more, I mostly just want to play
You
games
like
with
cre-
friends, and that's kind of it. That's my only goal ever.
That is a okay passion, but there might be infinite other things. You don't have to be limited to one passion, and like I said, there's infinite things you could be passionate about. So just because you tried one thing and it doesn't work, doesn't mean that, you know, first off, you could have just been like had a bad experience with it, so that thing could still be somewhat on the table, but there's other things that just like there's always something
the only
else
thing
you
I can
could
think
try.
of that I had a bad experience with is horses, and that's very specific because
I never
it was
liked
basically
horses.
a field trip
I'm
where
a bit-
a horse bit my finger because
Awesome.
I didn't know the etiquette for feeding a horse. And I had I basically for like a few years, I basically just hated horses. Like, they're my mortal enemy.
Wow.
And then it's like, oh no, I just someone just was fucked up and didn't tell me to flatten out my hand.
Right, which
Like-
would make sense, kind of. But, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I never liked horses as a little kid either. For me, I always
I never really liked any farm animals.
I
like-
didn't care about chickens or pigs or anything, which pigs are, I don't really care for them, I guess, anymore. They're smart and they're cool sometimes, but
I never care for any farm animal, dude. Like, I don't think age helps in that department.
well, I'm not talking age, but like, I'm just talking different animals, but like I guess I didn't really care for pigs, but like horses themselves I didn't like, especially as a little kid, because I was like, I remember one time my grandparents took me riding on horses as a little kid, and I hated it. I was so fearful in that experience, and I was just like, put me down, because I was like, if I fall off and this horse steps up my head, I know that's it. I'm dead. That's just dead.
That's kind of like my
Why would
fear of basically skyscrapers. Like, have you ever been to like the Bass Pro Shop in Tennessee? Like that giant
I've seen
pyramid one?
That's a really cool building, by the way. I've never seen it.
I've been there like once or twice. I mostly like getting Jawbreakers there because they have like real Jawbreakers. They're big. Anyway,
oh, shit, really?
But I hate the top. I hate the top because I'm just worried that it's gonna break under me or like I'm somehow gonna fall off the edge.
Right. Honestly,
like, I'm just like, nah. I'll stay near the wall where I have more area to grab in case if something happens.
I more personally don't like the idea of being crushed. I'm more fearful of that than I am falling and then instantly stopping from, falling to the ground. I don't really fear heights like that too much,
I mean, my fear mostly comes from death.
Right.
In general.
I don't really fear death, though.
And if there's any chance, and it was also my phone, because if my phone died, I basically died as well. Like if my phone broke, I basically turned
considered
into,
jobs where you just like climb giant towers to replace like light bulbs or fucking replace wires and shit. That shit pays nice, and like a lot of it's like, oh, people don't like climbing up that high, but hey, like,
yeah,
a paycheck is a paycheck for like, the next step in life. You gotta take some steps to
if I had to think of a job
forward.
As it stands, I'm looking at either editing or probably plumbing. Those are like the two directions.
I mean, plumbing is an okay trade, especially if you work your way up. It pays really well.
Yeah.
But shit. It's sorry. There's a lot of different trades like that could be done, but not everyone can do every trade. That is a fact.
Yeah.
But
by the way,
we're well over time. Yeah. I know.
Okay.
I was
gonna tell you. I was gonna. Hey, I don't know the timer, but I also know the timer.
Yeah, we know. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching.
No, I just specifically was making a hunch call.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section or in the Discord server by clicking on the link in the description, or in the About section. You'll find the links to our other media there as well. If you like this video and want more of the series, Night in the Woods, click on the link on the right, and if you want what YouTube suggests, click on the link on the left. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.